Hello, let's get into it. The idea is an idea wheel. This idea wheel has many different art ideas, like art videos or just fun things for me to try. For this video, I want to test it out. So whichever spot the little snake lands on is like art thing we're gonna do. So let's try it out. Ready and spin.
I got this wheel at Michael's and then I ended up painting it. It used to be a Halloween decoration, but I wanted to use it for this because it's a fun wheel, so why not?
Oh, it's slowing down. Let's see. Because we got to do whatever it is. And there's a lot of fun ideas on here. Eventually we're going to do them all. I don't know how long that's going to take though. The anticipation of waiting for a wheel to stop spinning. Oh, it landed on chalk art. Okay. This is super fun. I do this a lot on my TikTok. It's the thing that everyone seems to like, so I just kind of keep doing it. And it's really fun because I think I've grown a lot. And I have a giant chalkboard, which I just put chalkboard paint on, so it'll be really nice to use it. Because I haven't really used it yet. It'll be good. All right, let's set it up. Here is the start of the chalk video process, or you guys watching me actually create this. And I'm testing it out using the same methods I normally use on the sidewalk, just kind of getting a feel for it, just kind of rubbing the chalk all around, seeing how it blends and how it feels with the paint on the actual chalkboard. So I have never drawn a picture on this chalkboard before. I just recently painted it with like chalkboard paint from Michael's, and probably it finished drying the day before this video. So it was actually pretty cool to use it because I mostly use chalk on sidewalk. That's where I've done most of my chalk making videos. And if you want to check those out, go to Live Life Free Arts and Crafts on TikTok and Instagram. But here I am just going in with like base layers of blue and just yellow to kind of fill it in and get like a sky, feel. Here's the house, kind of just getting a simple layout for it using just a nice simple sidewalk chalk brown. So I decided to draw the house that probably every child drew, when you were like 2. The big square with the triangle roof, and then probably a chimney, which I end up adding later anyway. Thought I'd keep it simple, classic. Wasn't my main focus of the picture. But here is the fence outline, just kind of going in, drawing just the little details. I wanted to add some hills because I felt the right side of the chalkboard was kind of empty. And now I'm going in with like soft pastels, which are supposed to be, brighter, some more color, using a soft pastel blue for the sky. At this point, it was interesting because the chalk spreads so much easier on the chalkboard versus how much it sticks on sidewalk. I can end up probably doing a video, the difference between these two. It's slight, but it was interesting to figure out as I went along. So in high school, I actually had a chalk project, like a sidewalk chalk project. If you were in advanced art for a week, you could go to your teachers and ask if you could be out of class for basically that entire week almost and work on these chalk drawings. And at the end of the week, there would be an art show. So people would walk around and you could present what you made basically. And it was actually really cool. It kind of sets you up for how art shows usually go. People just walk around and you got to explain what your thing is. But going in, dusting off the lines previously because I don't want them there anymore. Realized working on the chalkboard, the chalk wipes off so much easier. If I were to smudge my finger on the chalkboard, it would just wipe away anything I did. So I realized I had to be especially careful on this and not let my little pinky do some weird movement. The soft pastel chalk was super bright as soon as I put it on, and then as I start to rub it in, it fades, but still keeps like 70 to 80% of its color, I will say. But just going in, adding some highlights of where I think the sun might be, but I realized later that the sun I put is behind it, so why would the sun be in front? And then going in with the hills, some green, but kind of just giving the depth, like the house is farther away, closer to the hills. So I did a flower garden for actually one of my first sidewalk chalk drawings on TikTok. It went really well. I enjoyed the colors, and it actually continued, or the post did really well, so it continued me to keep doing chalk drawings. but I thought it'd almost be poetic to have it be the first chalkboard drawing. So we're making magic. So here I'm going in, just adding the stems of all different heights, of different, kind of shapes. For the flowers, I wanted it to be a bit cartoonish, but have some realistic elements. So for the cartoon part, I would have more big shapes, nothing intricate, and then kind of soft colors. But for the realism, I would add the layers over and over each other, and then the shading is where it's key, getting the highlights and shadows. It's always how you make something look realistic. But I wanted it to be vibrant and kind of full of colors, so I went with a teal flower. I don't really know if there's one. There has to be a flower that exists like this. The world is full of amazing things. So the flowers right in front took one of the longest parts on the chalk drawing, mostly because you have to fill them in, which takes a while. Plus, I went on a debate if I was gonna smudge fill them in or leave it with the kind of grain look. I ended up leaving it with the grain look and just adding the different layers on top, but ended up taking a good amount of time. And then adding some flowers that are kind of peeking through the fence, I thought would be a fun detail to have. I thought the flowers were a bit lacking and dull in the colors, so I thought adding a bright blue center to the soft pink flowers would be a good way to keep it eye-catching for you. So one of the hardest parts I've learned is working with layers on a chalkboard, because every time I would add something on top to try to blend a little bit, it would just wipe off really easily. So this is definitely something new to work with. With the flowers almost finished up, we gotta add the last details, which are the petals, because everyone knows flowers have petals. And adding the darker lines to the fence, which I end up blending and then doing again. And then I also added some more wood texture designs, which I thought would be good detailing, which I end up just wiping away and making it darker. So let me know if you guys liked it before or after, what your opinions are. So I want to talk about this tool, or this brush. I absolutely love it. I found it at Michael's. I've seen like 2 videos of painters like getting all the like paint on it and then using it on really big canvases. And that's what I originally got this for. But then I ended up using it on a chalk drawing, like on sidewalk.
Wiping it off and kind of spreading it away. And it worked really great. It didn't leave that rim of dust around the paint, like the picture, which was perfect. And I thought I'd use it here, and it wiped off the edges all nice and neat. Smooth lines.
I love this brush. You should get yourself one of these brushes. And then adding the windows and then making the sun a bit brighter because it looked a little too mute for me. So I went back over the hills to get it more tonally matched with it, and especially where the sun was, I kind of went a little darker and then added a bit more highlights. And the last finishing detail was a bright, soft green pastel, adding a bit of grass to the hills, so, you can kind of see some light grass maybe blowing in the wind, or, I don't know. I like adding grass. Because then I also added grass to the flower garden, because it'd be more realistic. You'd have probably a little layer of grass and then having the flowers spread out. I don't know, I don't have a flower garden. Wish I could. But that was about the last detailing to the picture. Finishing it off with some clouds in the sky, because most of the time with sun, unless it's a super bright day, but most of the time you have clouds. But here it is. Let me know what you guys think of it. I had a blast creating this, and let's get over to the real-time me. Hello! Thank you, voiceover me. Well, here we are. We made it. This was a great video using our new art wheel that my cat is currently smelling. And having it be chalk, or at least the chalkboard, I think was almost magical, because I've been using chalk a lot recently, so maybe the universe is telling me something. With the ideal wheel, I want to come up with a name for it, so please leave your idea in the comments. If we could come up with a name together, it'd be awesome. I hope you had a great time watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Like, share, and subscribe for more art videos every week. Peace! Yeah!